Alright, we're back here again, and Ian dropped us off a first gen 12 valve 5-speed Exocab full drive Dodge, so he wants it painted. Sorry for all that noise, I got the fans running, but basically we're going to strip this thing down. I just kind of ran through, circled with a pencil, not a pen but a pencil, where some of the dents are. Here and here we got a new hood coming. The roof's actually pretty good shape, it's just rusty and it's got a chunk of crap on the back, so we'll strip that. And then with the door seem pretty good, there's no big dents. There's one down there in the fender. Back of the cab's been hit a couple times through here, and I'm gonna have to try to weld this in here. Back of the cab's pretty common on these for cracking out there, so that's not gonna be much fun. Those are never fun, but overall the thing looks pretty good. So the goal is to kind of probably going to come back with 36 roll lock, grind out this whole piece here, do some body work, and then I'll have John start stripping this thing down, get the trim off of it, get the grill off of it, probably get the doors, fenders, whatnot, the front end off of it, get this thing blown into a bunch of different pieces, pull the cab off of the frame and put it on a dolly, and then get where we can sand the roof, sand the rockers, get the body work done, get it primed, get it sanded down, and hopefully get it painted. So gonna be one of those little projects we got going on here, so well, wish us luck. Alright, so we're back here playing around with these cars once again, working on this little 93 Dodge cab here. We got it off the frame and then got it pretty well stripped. We had to do some repair over there. John was still repairing that. When the seat folds up, it kind of tore the floorboard. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to buzz this down with 80, try to get rid of all this rust. We got this knocked down with 80. I'm going to do some filler work, and then hopefully get this thing more or less stripped and the cab into primer. So that's kind of the goal on this one, and then once that's primed, we'll either prep this and then jump on the doors and fenders, or we'll leave this primed, jump on the doors and fenders. I haven't decided yet, but it's kind of the plan on that. Not too bad, actually. It's actually surprisingly for a 93, it's very straight, very minimal rust. I just see some couple little spots where probably like the paint had been chipped, had gone through, so we'll come back and grind that down real good and get rid of that. This fender is really good shape, except for it does have a little bit of a wow. You kind of see the buckle here where it's pushed this in and then puckered this out, so I'm hoping that I can kind of hammer and dolly this here while working this and try to get this edge back out and that arc to that fender like it's supposed to. So we're knocking that down with 80, and then we'll go over it with like 180. That'll take off most of our white off there, but we want to get down in there. And then I just went back over with a 36 roll lock. Kind of took the paint off where I know for sure that there's a few little dingers. I feel a couple little bumps in there, but all in all. And then I got these little chunks here that we had hit it here, knocked the back of the cab in a little bit, so we hammer and dolly that, and then I put some filler on it, and then got to about here. So I'm going to 80 that down, and then we'll strip the cab, the roof bare, and then the rest of this stuff, I think it's pretty good that we can primer over. All this is feathered back really nicely, not peeling and chipping or anything goofy, so far looking really good. We'll rust treat the floors. And we'll get some rust treat, some chassis saver or something tomorrow, and then hopefully get this thing in primer pretty soon. But the goal is to buzz out of the fender, see if I can't iron that out a little bit, and then yeah, strip the roof, and then see if we can't keep moving forward on this project. Down here, a couple look like something they caught it here, and put a little crease there, and then up here always hammer on these people leaning over and putting their elbows on them when they're working on them and whatnot. So other than that, these actually look pretty good. Kind of surprised. Had a little buckle here we hammered and dollied out, and then had a little crease here, but that's where that fender flare rides. Someone or something didn't push on that fender flare, knocked that in. But other than that, those things are, minus that spot right there, all 80'd, and then bodywork, and then 180, and everything that was coming off really easy, or fairly easy, we sanded off, feathered out, so that's good. Should be good for 2K. Got the cab buzzed down, looking pretty good here. Oops. Got the cab buzzed down, looking pretty good here. Couple little dingers right here we fixed. I think there's one down there I still got to fix, and then I got to get the stud gun out and fix this dent right here. And then there's another little dinger right there, and I seen one over here. But basically what I'm going to do on that roof, I buzzed all the paint and sealer off. I didn't get real carried away because I want a little bit of that. It's got a little surface rust. I still want a little bit of that there because we're going to hit it with our, wherever our rust converter went. Let's see if I can find that. We're going to hit that with our rust prep because I've been using this stuff. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Basically you just kind of knock the scaly shit off, and then tray this on there and let it sit for, I think, I don't know however long, 35, 45 minutes. Come back with the damp rag, wipe that all off. So hopefully it'll neutralize any of that stuff, and then I'll go ahead and epoxy at least the top of the roof. That way it's sealed off. If there's any of that rust left, the epoxy should seal it, keep it from bubbling up. I'll take a wire wheel and like I did over here, go ahead and grind all this seam sealer out of there. There's a bunch of Bondo dust in there, and then it'll get all re-seam sealed right before I primer it. If I put it in a 2K. So. Alright, so back here working on the inner extra cab Dodge. Went ahead and took this big dent out, put a stud gun on there and pulled it out. Didn't set up the GoPro for whatever reason, and but we do have this thing. You can see where that rust inhibitor or neutralizer or whatever you call it is turning everything to kind of like a milky gray color, like a kind of a milky gray white chalkish look, and that's actually what you want. That's how you know it's like neutralizing the rust. So hopefully, so I let that sit overnight. Now I'm gonna buzz that stuff back down because it's already like killed the rust that's there. So when you wipe it on, you can see the rust turn like really brown, but overnight it's turned white. So I'm gonna buzz that down. I'm gonna try to get that white residue off of there, and I just trust my primers on bare metal with a good sand scratch in there for some grip. That's kind of where I'm at on that right now, so I'm just do a little filler work on that and keep trucking away. Alright, back here, got that thing all primed, pretty well cleaned up. I've let it set for a few minutes. Just let it kind of kick off, skim over, I guess you could say. Let it dry. Got that pretty close. So those fenders and the cab. So before I unpeel that, a lot of times I'll come back over it with some stuff called guide coat, which is just guide coat black. This is a Sims 38203. Basically tells us when we sand it where highs and lows are. I like to do it once the primer's kind of skimmed over a little bit, so it doesn't sink in and soak in too much. But just kind of hammer this stuff on there, about like so. No rhyme or reason, just kind of. That way, we come back and sand it. We know where highs, our lows are. And then if we did this to block this in with 180 and come back over it with like 320 or 400, on our 400 session, we will know if there's some sand scratches left behind. So I'm going to go ahead and jump up on the ladder and then guide coat this. Probably call this done on this project for the day, and I will see you guys in a day or two.